Talk for a minute about how we're reading the Bible here.
Pogledajmo na trenutak kako čitamo Bibliju.
We're reading the Bible as a story.
Biblija je Božja priča.
And we're going to see how the whole Bible fits together, beginning to end.
I vidjet ćemo kako cijela Biblija štima od početka do kraja.
The whole story of the Bible is what God does.
Cijela Božja priča je ono što Bog čini.
And what God is like so we can believe in him.
I o tome kakav je Bog, kako bismo mi mogli vjerovati u njega.
This is how Israel taught their children.
Ovako je Izrael poučavao sebe i poučavao svoju djecu.
This is how Israel reminded themselves.
Ovako se Izrael podsjećao.
Of what God was like and all of these answers to important questions.
Podsjećao se kakav je to Bog i kako Bog odgovara na sva naša važna pitanja.
So important questions like what is God like?
Znači, važno pitanje poput kakav je Bog?
Why do we worship this God and not other gods?
Zašto štujemo ovog Boga, a ne druge bogove?
What does it mean to be human?
Što znači biti čovjek?
What's wrong with our world?
Što je krivo s našim svijetom?
How are we supposed to respond to what's wrong with it?
Kako reagiramo na to što je pogrešno u našem svijetu?
From the Bible's perspective, there are good ways to answer these questions and there are bad ways to answer these
Iz perspektive Biblije postoje dobri i loši načini da se odgovori na ovo pitanje.
And the story of Israel in the Old Testament is as much about them choosing bad answers as it is about them choosing good
knjiga
answers.
o Izraelcima u Starom Zavjetu isto toliko pokazuje kako su loše odreagirali na nešto, koliko pokazuje koliko su dobro odreagirali na nešto.
Now let me show you something.
Pokazat ću vam nešto.
I want you to compare this story in Genesis chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2 with the Babylonian creation story.
Usporedite ovu priču sa babilonskom pričom stvaranja.
Which is called the Enuma Elish.
Koja se zove Enuma Elish.
Enuma Elish is the story of a war between Marduk, the storm god, and his grandmother Tiamat.
To je priča o ratu između Marduka, boga Oluja, i Tiamata, Mardukove majke.
Marduk is the storm god, and he's the leader of the gods.
Marduk je bog Oluja, on je vođa svih bogova.
But his grandmother hates him and wants to kill him.
Ali Mardukova baka ga mrzi i želi ga ubiti.
Tiamat, his grandmother, is the serpent who rules over the sea.
Ona je velika zmija koja vlada morima.
So they fight to the death.
I oni se bore do smrti.
And Marduk kills his grandmother, Tiamat.
I Marduk ubija svoju baku.
And leaves her dead body floating in the ocean.
I ostavlja njezino mrtvo tijelo da pluta morem.
And after she dies, her body becomes the dry land.
I nakon što umre, njezino tijelo postaje kopno.
And her blood becomes the people that live on the dry land.
A njezina krv postaju ljudi koji žive na kopnu.
That's one of those stories they didn't tell you in Sunday school, right?
Tu priču niste čuli u crkvi, jel?
Nice story. Now, that story tells you how the Babylonians saw the world.
I ta priča vam pokazuje kako su Babilonci vidjeli svijet.
That story tells you what the Babylonians understood about what it means to be human.
I kako su shvaćali što znači biti čovjek.
The gods that the Babylonians worshipped, what were they like?
Bogovi koje su Babilonci štovali, kakvi su oni bili?
They are bloody and violent.
Oni su bili krvožedni, bili su nasilni.
And how is the world created?
Kako je svijet nastao?
By accident. It's just a byproduct of the war between the gods.
Slučajnošću. To je nus proizvod, dakle mrtvo tijelo koje je nastalo u bitci između dva boga.
Do you think the Babylonians thought there was any purpose to life?
Mislite li da su Babilonci smatrali da život ima svrhu, da život ima smisao?
Maybe to be like their gods and to conquer things, because that's what they were like.
Možda su htjeli biti kao svoji bogovi, htjeli su osvajati.
But that would be about as far as it would go.
Ali to osvajanje je bio vrhunac njihovog smisla.
Do you see how the pictures of God are different in the two stories?
Vidite li kako su slike Boga drugčije u te dvije priče?
How is Israel's God, Yahweh, how is he different from the Babylonian gods?
Kako je izraelski bog Jahve drukčiji od babilonskih bogova?
Yeah, in the Babylonian story, the world is created by accident, but in Israel's story, the world is created on purpose.
Kod Babilonaca svijet je stvoren slučajno. Kod Izraelaca svijet je stvoren sa svrhom.
In the Babylonian story, people are here by accident, but in Israel's story, God created them on purpose to bear his image.
U babilonskoj priči ljudi su stvoreni slučajno, nastali su slučajno. A u biblijskoj priči Bog je stvorio ljude na svoju sliku.
Do the Babylonian gods care about their people?
Brinuli se babilonski bogovi za svoje ljude?
Only when their people make sacrifices to them and earn their favor.
Samo kada im daju žrtve i kada zasluže njihovu dobrotu, dobrostivost.
Only when their people are out slaughtering whole nations for their God's glory.
Samo kada njihov narod ide i osvaja i pobija cijele narode za slavu svoga Boga.
That's not what Israel's God is like.
A to nije Izraelov Bog.
And as Israel is writing this story and telling this story,
I dok Izrael piše ovu pjesmu,
they're reminding themselves, our God is different.
dok piše ovu priču, podsjećeni su, naš Bog je drukčiji.
Even though the Babylonians may have conquered us, our God is different.
Čak i ako su nas Babilonci pokorili, naš Bog je drukčiji.
Here's what our God is like.
Evo kakav je naš Bog.
And here's how our God wants us to live.
I evo kako naš Bog želi da živimo.
So, the Bible is one of God's ways, not his only way, but one of God's ways
Biblija je jedan od Božjih načina
of getting us to believe and live the right story.
na koji odlučujemo živjeti i vjerovati u pravu priču.
The Babylonians are gone, but there are plenty of people who live their life like that.
Babilonaca više nema, ali postoje mnogi ljudi koji dan danas tako žive svoje živote.
Because they are living the wrong story.
Jer žive krivu priču.
God gave us the Bible so that we would know what the right story was and live it.
Bog je nama dao Bibliju da bismo znali kakva je prava priča i da možemo živjeti pravu priču.
And that's where we'll start next week.
I tu ćemo nastaviti sljedeći tjedan.
Do we have a minute for questions or do I need to stop?
1 minute.
1 minute, yeah. Are there any
Minuta za
questions?
pitanja.
Okay,
I have just a comment
yes.
concerning what you were saying about, I will speak in Croatian better for people to understand. Na temelju ovoga što ste govorili o Babiloncima, pa u nekim stvarima se iskreno moje mišljenje malo i razlikuje, jer Babilonci i Sumerani, ako se čitaju njihovi spisi, vidimo da su bili itekako napredni.
The story about... Moram prevesti, daj mi dio. Concerning the Babylonians and the Sumerians, I read some of their other... and they seemed to be very advanced, so they weren't just this bloodthirsty nation. But
Znači, njihova kozmologija je, Židovi su često kupili elemente babilonsko-sumeranske kozmologije i stavljali...
the Jews oftentimes introduced things from Sumerian cosmology into their writings.
Well, I think a better way to say it would be that they responded to what the Sumerians did.
Na primjer, priča o potoku nam dolazi...
Nisam preveo njegov odgovor, pa sad moram... Okay, repeat your answer again.
The Jews were not so much borrowing the things the Sumerians said or the Babylonians said as they were responding to them and correcting them.
Ne toliko da su uzimali od Sumerana, nego su više odgovarali na njihove teorije i ispravljali ih.
There are parallels, and I oversimplified the Babylonian story just because I only have so many minutes.
Ja sam u vrlo kratkim crtama sažeo babilonsku priču, dakle...
Ja bih još samo dodao, zanimljivo je da nam priča o potoku za koju ljudi često vjeruju da je došla iz Biblije, u biti dolazi upravo iz babilonskog Sumerana.
He said that the flood story from which people believe to be from the Bible is actually a story from Sumerian texts.
Some people say that, but there's a lot of division on
Neki kažu da je, drugi kažu da nije.
That's one of those that depends on which book you read.
Ovisno o tome.
Nema veze sa vjerovanjem.
So he said, for them to be advanced doesn't have anything to do with faith.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're out of time, but thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
toliko za danas. Nastavit ćemo iduće nedelje.
Thanks.
Evo, stavimo za par